Self-control is the hidden power that separates those who merely dream from those who actually achieve, those who wander aimlessly from those who shape their destiny with their own hands. Every human being desires success, happiness, fulfillment, and freedom. But the truth is that all these desires depend on one invisible force, and that is the ability to control yourself. Self-control is not about denying joy. It is not about living like a machine. It is not about cutting away everything that makes life beautiful. Self-control is about having the wisdom and strength to choose long-term growth over short-term pleasure, to say no to the distractions that steal your future, and to discipline your emotions and actions so that they work for you, not against you. Without self-control, even the most talented person becomes a slave to impulses, but with self-control, even an ordinary person becomes extraordinary. Think about it. Every failure, every regret, every wasted opportunity in life often traces back to one moment where self-control was lost. A person who cannot control his anger destroys relationships. A person who cannot control his spending lives in financial stress. A person who cannot control his time drowns in procrastination and never fulfills his potential. A person who cannot control his habits ends up trapped by addiction. But on the other hand, every great achievement, every story of transformation, every life of purpose is built on the foundation of self-control. Behind every successful student who studied while others partied, behind every entrepreneur who built a business instead of wasting money, behind every athlete who trained while others slept, there was the power of self-control. This is the silent strength that no one applauds in the beginning, but everyone admires in the end. You see, self-control is the master key that unlocks every door to success. Intelligence alone is not enough, because without self-control, intelligence turns into arrogance or wasted potential. Talent alone is not enough, because without self-control, talent gets buried under laziness. Ambition alone is not enough, because without self-control, ambition turns into frustration. Even love and passion cannot survive without self-control, because when emotions are not disciplined, they burn everything around them. Life has given us all the raw material to build greatness, but the construction depends on self-control. It is easy to talk about dreams. It is easy to say that one day you will change your life, but the distance between dreaming and doing is measured in self-control. You cannot become fit if you cannot control your eating and your workouts. You cannot become wealthy if you cannot control your spending and your habits of saving and investing. You cannot become wise if you cannot control your learning and your discipline of study. You cannot become respected if you cannot control your words and action. Every time you exercise self-control, you are casting a vote for the future self you want to become. Every time you lose it, you are handing your power to the moment. People often say they lack motivation, but the truth is, what they lack is not motivation, it is self-control. Motivation is a spark, but self-control is the engine that keeps you moving when the spark fades. Motivation can get you started, but only self-control keeps you consistent. The person who waits to feel motivated will keep waiting, but the person who builds self-control acts regardless of feelings, and eventually the feelings catch up. Success is not about what you feel like doing. Success is about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. The path to mastering self-control is not complicated, but it is not easy either. It begins with clarity. You must know what matters to you, because without a clear purpose, self-control feels like punishment. When you know why you are doing something, discipline becomes fuel instead of a burden. The student who understands the future he is building will not see late-night study as torture. He will see it as an investment. The entrepreneur who knows the freedom she is creating will not see saving money as deprivation. She will see it as empowerment. Self-control becomes easier when your vision is strong, because your future becomes more attractive than the temporary distractions of the present. Then comes awareness. Most people fail at self-control, not because they are weak, but because they are blind. They do not see the traps before they fall into them. They surround themselves with temptations and then blame themselves for losing. If you want to master self-control, you must master awareness. Know your triggers. Know the situations where you are vulnerable. Know the people who drain your energy. Know the habits that weaken your resolve. The more aware you are, the more power you gain, because you can prepare before the moment comes. After awareness comes discipline. Discipline Discipline is simply the repeated act of choosing what is right over what is easy until it becomes natural. Self-control is not a single act. It is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. At first, resisting distractions feels impossible, like lifting a heavy weight, but over time, as you practice, it becomes effortless. That is why the smallest victories matter. Every time you wake up when your alarm rings, every time you put away your phone to focus on work, every time you hold your tongue instead of speaking in anger, every time you delay a purchase to save money, you are training the muscle of self-control, and the stronger it becomes, the easier life gets. But remember, self-control is not about perfection. You will fail at times. You will lose your grip at times. Do not let one mistake make you quit. Self-control grows not by avoiding failure, but by learning from it. Every slip is an opportunity to understand yourself better. Ask yourself why it happened, what triggered it, what you can change next time. Forgive yourself, but do not excuse yourself. Learn, adjust, and move forward. The person who keeps practicing self-control, even after falling, becomes unstoppable. Self-control is also about environment. You cannot plant a seed in dry ground and expect it to grow. In the same way, you cannot place yourself in a toxic environment and expect your discipline to survive. Surround yourself with people who live with focus, because their energy will lift you. Remove temptations from your surroundings, because self-control thrives when distractions are limited. If you want to eat healthy, do not keep junk food in your home. If you want to save money, remove the apps that encourage mindless spending. If you want to study, place your phone in another room. Self-control is not just about inner strength, it is about smart design of your environment. The greatest test of self-control is not just in resisting pleasures, but in controlling emotions. A person who cannot control his anger destroys relationships and opportunities. A person who cannot control his pride closes the doors of learning. A person who cannot control his fear never takes risks and never grows. A person who cannot control his sadness allows it to paralyze him. True strength is not in lifting heavy weights. It is in lifting yourself above your emotions and guiding them instead of being guided by them. Feelings are real, but they are not always right. Self-control allows you to feel deeply but act wisely. Understand this. Happiness itself depends on self-control. People think happiness comes from doing whatever they want, whenever they want. But that is not true. That path leads to chaos, regret, and emptiness. True happiness comes from living a life aligned with your values, from pursuing goals with consistency, from building trust with yourself and others. The joy of self-control is not in what you deny yourself. It is in the freedom you gain. Freedom from addiction, freedom from regret, freedom from chaos, freedom from wasted potential. That is real happiness. And success, whether in career, health, or relationships, is simply the result of compounded self-control. Day after day, choice after choice, moment after moment, you shape your destiny. The world may admire the results, but it is your self-control that creates them in silence. Behind every gold medal, every degree, every business, every healthy family, there are countless small acts of self-control that no one ever saw. That is why self-control is the secret power. If you want to change your life, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for others to believe in you. Start with one act of self-control today. Control your time by removing one distraction. Control your body by making one healthy choice. Control your mind by replacing one negative thought. Control your money by saving one small amount. Control your emotions by choosing silence when anger rises. Small steps become big changes. Small wins become unstoppable momentum. There will always be temptations. There will always be distractions. There will always be a voice telling you to take the easy way. But there will also always be a stronger voice within you, the voice of your future self, the voice of your true potential calling you to rise above. Listen to that voice. Train it with self-control, because the life you desire, the person you dream of becoming, is waiting on the other side of your self-control. So decide today. Decide that you will no longer be a slave to impulses. Decide that your future is more important than temporary pleasure. Decide that your dreams are worth the sacrifice. Decide that your strength is greater than your excuses. Decide that you will master yourself, because when you master yourself, you master everything else. Self-control is the greatest victory you can achieve, because once you win over yourself, nothing in the world can defeat you.